What's up, everyone? I'm Andrew Nolan. I'm a music producer and guitarist for the band A Somerset Parade. Welcome to the series called Songs of the Hyades, a look inside Carcosa, where I give you an inside look into the production and mix of each song on our recently released album, Carcosa. I produced this album, so I'm going to give you a ton of insight into how I wrote, edited, tracked, and mixed each song on the album, basically start to finish, showing you through all the Pro Tools sessions and all the different elements in each song. There's a ton of cool stuff on the album, so I'm really looking forward to actually showing everyone what's in there. Also, if you like what you see, hit me up, let's work together. All my details will be in the description below, on my socials, email, all that sort of stuff. Shoot us a message and let's work together. And without further ado, let's get stuck in. Hi everyone, welcome to Act 8 of Songs of the Hyades, a look inside Carcosa. This week we are looking at Twin Suns, Twin Moons. So this is like the interlude in the album. It's like the halfway point. A little something different on the album. This one is an interesting one because originally Dan wrote this as its own sort of poem, prose sort of thing. It was much longer than this. He first read it to us when we were up in Mullaney, and we really liked it. We thought it was really cool, and we wanted to figure out how to do something with it. I think initially it was just going to be him reading it, and that's all we were going to do to it. But then that slowly evolved into, maybe we can put some music on it. And then it became like it's too long, so we wanted to shorten it and make it kind of short and snappy and not kind of linger too long and overstay its welcome. So through the process of just trial and error, and just trying to figure out how long exactly we wanted it, plus also with the backing track, like the music, just trying to figure out how many repetitions of stuff we could have before it just became a little bit too monotonous or lost its interest. People just want to skip through it, sort of thing. A lot of trying to figure out the best method for putting this all together that was going to honor what Dan wrote, but also be something that you don't always want to like just skip past it just because it's too long, or it's a bit of a slog to get through it. Bit of a definitely a huge group effort on this one, trying to figure out how all this should come together. Now, in saying that, I think it took a little while to figure out how we wanted to do this. Not just in like how long it should be and all that sort of stuff, but also like contextually, what thematically it should be. For me personally, as we started to record this, it became pretty evident that I wanted it to sound more like an audio log, like in video games where you like running around and you stumble across an audio log and you listen to it, and it's like from some previous settlement or whatever, like you've come into this place and it's completely desolate, and everyone's a long time gone, and you're kind of listening to these audio logs of like this time past and gathering all this sort of information and story through these lost sort of archives. So that was my idea for this, trying to tie in with the theme of Carcosa being this mythical place. So my inspirations were games like Horizon Zero Dawn, that sort of audio log sound where it's kind of like futuristic but also primitive at the same time. and also like this dystopian um, wasteland sort of sound happening in the background as you're listening to these audio logs. So having, yeah, like this futuristic, clunky, it sounds like it should be technically advanced, but it's kind of not. It still has like this sort of tape player sort of junk to it. That's what I was going for. And there's a bunch of soundscape stuff in here of like wasteland sort of vibes that kind of helps it pin it into this realm of like desolation and wasteland. So kind of feeling like the isolation of whoever it is that's leaving these audio logs. Yeah, definitely not feeling like you're grounded or anything like that. It's kind of a bit ethereal, wishy-washy, mysterious sort of stuff. Cool. So getting into I guess the music bed. This was a demo I came up with, like a little piano sort of demo with some guitars and that sort of thing. I came up with ages ago. And as we're figuring out what sort of music to put to this, I was going through all these old demos and found this one. I was like, oh, this one could be cool to put in there. So that is this like almost like dueling piano sort of thing. There's like a piano on the left and a piano on the right, just playing two separate things that kind of repeat. So that sounds like this. So that's one of them. Oh, so there's actually three. There's those low notes as well. The bono. So this is one on the left. So using two different pianos here. They're Alicia's Keys by Native Instruments and the Cinematic Soft Piano. Can't remember who makes that. Might be Spitfire. Yes, very haunting, ethereal, very cool. This is the other piano. Just using the Alicia's Keys for this one, apparently. That one's muted. You got your low notes. And they're just running through some reverb. That preset. And some more reverb up here. Yeah, so very nice piano. So that was the basis of the song. That's what kicked everything off with this one, as we're kind of rifling through all the old demos. Just keeping in mind that sort of like desolate, isolate vibe of the audio log. That kind of had the feeling that we wanted, so definitely explored this further with... We got some piano effects here as well. Let's take a look at that. So just doing what the right piano is doing and just running it through a few different gravity presets. That almost like harpsichord sounding thing. Very washy pad bell thing. Not even really playing notes, just washing around. More sort of plucky bell stuff. I think for me that kind of gives it like a futuristic sound to the piano. Take that away and it's just the piano. Add that, it kind of gives it like an 80s futuristic sort of sound, like, yeah, what the future was envisioned by in the 80s. That sort of feeling. So that just plays throughout the whole song. Yeah, that piano, yep, just goes throughout the whole song. Doesn't really change up at all. Then we've got some strings. Quite a few strings by the looks of it. Alright. So, alright. We'll get to that one. Strings, what do we got? String ensemble, essential. Okay, yep. I think it's just the native instrument string ensemble. It just does that by the looks of it. And we've got a bunch of Spitfire Albion 1. Sounds like it's just doing what the string ensemble was doing. Just sounds more natural. So that's your strings. Looks like you got your woods, like your oboe sort of stuff. All doing the same thing. Oh, love that. Filtered string waves. So I think this Albion 1 pack comes with like some pads as well. That's very cinematic, I guess. It's not very present, it's very kind of distant, which is cool. Chugging wind. Yeah, so there's a bunch of synths in this Albion 1 orchestra pack. I guess there's like a tremolo as well. What else we got? Apocalypse drone. Well, after the Apocalypse drone, seems fitting. Very subtle, that one. Just adding a bit of droney depth to the mix, I guess. Beautiful reflective pad. Sounds about right. It's just more sort of like string stuff. Another version of that. Angry pad. So yeah, I would have just taken the MIDI from one and just copied them all the way down and just pick different presets on different virtual instruments. Shit-stained choir gown. I think between this one and the next one, definitely picked because of the name, but this definitely works too. Adds that droney tension, shit-stained tension. But that to me is also like that futuristic but not futuristic sound. I guess that 80s futuristic. Back in the 80s, like all this sort of stuff would have sounded like the future. But now kind of looking back on it, like it's kind of like didn't quite hit the mark sort of thing. So I think that's what I feel when I hear this sort of stuff, is that once again, going back to what I was trying to achieve, is like a futuristic sound, but in like a dystopian world or like a wasteland. So it's almost like, because when you think of the future, you think of like things going extremely well and prosperous and all this sort of stuff. But to have like the future not play out that way, be kind of the opposite of that, like dystopian. That's what that sounds like to me. It's like almost like this hope for the future that didn't quite pan out. The next one definitely picked because of the name. There's literally a preset called Carcosa, so of course I had to use it. And that's actually pretty prominent in the mix, that one. Looks like it's got a few change-ups. One here. Subtle. And then at the end of the song, yeah, you can definitely hear that right at the end of the song. Hidden machines. No. Yeah, some very ominous machinery. Blade strings. That's cool. I've also missed this plucked strings. Gives it kind of a rhythm. Because there's no percussion or drums or anything in this song. So it's nice to have a section where there's like kind of some rhythm to it. And this one up here, strings long. I guess just, yeah, building on what we had here. The kind of, this section pops in, then it kind of ducks out, and then it comes back even bigger. Cool. Let's just play all of that together in both sections. But yeah, to me that just sounds like desolation. And like this little section here kind of sounds, this bit coming out, that this little change kind of sounds like there's going to be hope, and then it falls out again. No. It's like, no. And how it just keeps going down after that. Yeah. It kind of gives me that build up of hope, and then just like, nah, no hope. Let's play this section, the build up. There's plucky strings in there now. I think that's following what the guitar is doing as well, which we will get to. Yeah, so the guitars are... What do we got here? Oh, so all of these guitars, as you can tell, are from the original demo, where I was just kind of putting down the ideas. I just record something, create a new track, record something, or like duplicate the track, hence so poorly named. So I just left them as they were in the demo. Because there's something about some of these sort of demo recordings. Oh, this is pretty sloppily played. It's just kind of, once again, just like dragging the pick across the strings and not evenly picking or anything like that. You can hear like the hand sliding across the strings and that sort of thing. But that works for this song. Yep, just throwing all those little ideas in there. That one. What do we got here? Sloppy, but it works. And this one's not even being used. I'm curious, what's this one? It makes sense why that wasn't used. I think it was just confusing the issue. So all these guitars together. Let's just throw in the piano. Effects. Yeah, so just sticking to the same sort of quarter note rhythm. Wait. That's right. Let's move on to Gravity. Cool. So I've got a folder called Gravity, and that is just all the instances of the virtual instrument Gravity that I've just taken MIDI and copied and pasted onto all these different presets. So basically just going through like the Gravity sort of archive of presets and just finding stuff that I like and stuff that suits the vibe. I mean, there's so many of them that you basically just look for the name. And if it sounds like it suits, cool. Keep that, make another one. So this is all like soundscape sort of stuff. Altogether it sounds... Yeah, so really just adding to the dystopian sort of element. And giving it a more sort of cinematic sort of feel. I mean, yeah. They're also very cinematic. Let me just unfreeze this so we can hear each one individually. I mean, yeah, you can just look at the name and get a kind of feel for what it's going to be, and then see if it works, and keep adding different instances and build your own sort of soundscape. You can definitely go too far with this sort of stuff, but that's the fun of making music. You can there's no real limit to what you can and can't do. You can't push it too far, but all this sort of stuff, it adds up, and it works really well. No, they're nothing crazy, but they just add layers of tension and atmosphere. I mean, ripping realms, come on. Very cool. See if we can take a look at the Atmos folder. Alright, so what have we got in here? We have got atmospheric things. Alright, so if you want it to sound like it's in some sort of dystopian wasteland, then you probably need those types of sounds. Rain, can't go wrong with rain. Let's unfreeze this. Everything sounds more moody and vibey when there's rain involved. This is the wasteland ambience. So it's just like, yeah, very windy, sort of almost desert sound. Very desolate. Cool. So got this little power up sound. Because I wanted it to sound like a futuristic audio log, but still sound like really clunky. So it's almost like futuristic, but with like very sort of old school, tangible sort of sounds. That sounds sort of run down and broken and glitchy, deteriorated, all that sort of stuff. So I've got like those sort of little electronic sort of power up sounds, but I'm also using like tape machine. So that it sounds like when you hit play, this thing kind of spools up, but then it has like this futuristic sort of like power up to it. So that kind of, kind of gives it a very sort of futuristic dystopian sort of sound, because it just feels like a future that's just gone wrong. Like technology is advanced, but then it's all kind of, the whole world's kind of fallen apart. So now you're left with this sort of old technology, it's like obsolete sort of technology that boots up all kind of clunky and weird. I just wanted to feel like some sort of thing that you would stumble across in this wasteland. Once again, Horizon Zero Dawn, where you kind of boots up in, it's almost like this hologram sort of feel. That sort of vibe. What else we got? Birds. Just sort of like animal sort of chatter. And these sort of sounds don't really depict any particular sort of animal that you can easily identify. So it's not like a tiger or something like that, where you go, oh, that sounds like a tiger. This sort of stuff, it could be anywhere. It could be any sort of universe, multiverse, world, whatever. This stuff is pretty low in the mix, but it's all just stuff that keeps adding layers on layers. We've got some tape fuzz. Just to make the recording sound. It also sounds like rain as well, which is helpful. To make the recording sound broken down and decrepit. And the best way to do that is to have something that's like easily recognizable for us, like a broken down sort of, like, it's hard to degrade a digital recording without like glitching it out, but to give it sort of like tape fuzz and wear and tear that just automatically makes you think of like a deteriorated recording. What else we got? Got these glitch effects. So that's the best way I could kind of replicate a glitchy sort of digital recording. And I think that's kind of in between some things that Dan's saying, just to kind of make it sound like his voice is glitching out. Let's go to these audio 4. These are just like little impact moments. Just to make certain words or phrases land or have like some sort of impact when he says certain lines. Got some laughs. Yeah, if you want a recording to sound like someone's losing their mind, throw in some maniacal sort of laughs. Some screams. Pretty sure from memory these screams were actual recordings from like the internet. Top 5 scary demon recordings you need to pray before listening. Yeah, these might be like actual sort of recordings from like possessions and exorcisms, that sort of thing. Ask Dan. He made me look this stuff up. Yeah, you know, that sort of fun stuff. What's this? Some sort of glitch? Yeah, so just taking a signal generator, pitching it and automating some glitch. All of that together. Let's go back here. Yes, very atmospheric. Now I've got a folder for Evolve. It's just another virtual instrument that has like soundscape sort of effect stuff on it. Let's unfreeze that. What do we got here? Radio disturbances. Yep. as advertised, just all radio glitchy sounds. Yep. Telemetronic tension. It's got this weird sort of heartbeat sound in the left channel. Yeah, just building tension. What's this? Thunder. I suppose if you're gonna have rain, you better have thunder. More Edge of Nightmare stuff. Cool. And all the atmosphere stuff together. The little heartbeat thing kicks in when the guitars kick in. Sweet. Just wind and rain noises at the end there. Nice. That is all of the atmosphere stuff. We can move on to vocals now. Alright, so for the vocals, it's quite a bit going on. Because, yeah, we had Dan with his poetry, prose. We chopped it all up and kind of had all these different effect channels where we could kind of like just chop it up, move it around, drop it onto different channels to affect it differently so that it sounded like a recording that was glitching out because once again, this old technology had been worn down over time. And also we wanted it to have the vibe of someone who's recording their kind of descent into madness. So to do that, we wanted to have all these echoing voices and that sort of thing. And also I took inspiration from the video game Senua's Sacrifice, like Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, where you hear a lot of like inner sort of monologue voices as like psychosis. So basically, I know in that video game they used like binaural sort of recordings to have that effect of like sounding like someone's kind of whispering in your ear or behind you, that sort of thing. We're just doing this in stereo, so it's just left and right. But to give it that sort of feeling that it's someone whispering in your ear, I just got Dan, because we used the Manly reference mic for this one, which is a large capsule tube microphone. just to get right up on the capsule and speak directly into the capsule. Keep it super dry. There's no reverb or anything like that. And that way, like when you talk right up on a capsule, it sounds way more intimate. There's not many plugins or EQs or anything like that can mimic that kind of sound. You just kind of have to do it that way. You have to record it that way. So you get this kind of
the other place, breathe.
Yeah, that sound of like the wind hitting the capsule and like your lips being right up on it. That's what makes it sound like someone's like literally right in your ear hole. And then I've just kind of panned it left and right to kind of sound like it's like Dan chirping away all these crazy thoughts.
The other place, breathe. Cut it. Hollow spectre, oh tattered king, oh vicious ghost, oh dreaded thing. Oh wait.
Cool. So just also
Carcosa.
just hitting moments or just repeating certain lines. It's kind of like asking questions, all that sort of stuff. Just that inner monologue of a person who's going through psychosis and just losing their mind. Yeah, that was fun to do, fun to record. So you have that going on. And then you got all of this. So once again, using the Manly reference microphone. Got your main vocal, and then you've got a duplicate or a double that's going through like a tremolator, decapitator, so bit of saturation, tremolator, pan man, so it's kind of like shifting back and forth left to right.
Once my soul.
And because I took inspiration from Horizon Zero Dawn, I was listening to those sort of audio log recordings, and I have like this sort of metallic resonance to it. So I managed to find, which one is it? Yeah, so this metallic verb on the FabFilter Timeless delay, and that's what kind of gives it that sort of like resonance, that metallic sort of ring to it.
Once my soul.
It's almost like a slight sort of slap delay.
The song of the Hyades washes over. Once my soul.
You got this thing which is like pitched down slightly with little altar boy.
Once my soul.
But once again, you can get that panning, that tremolator sort of. It's pretty quick.
Once my soul.
Just to give it that sort of glitchy sort of feel.
As the song of the Hyades washes over me.
Yeah, all those together.
Once my soul, once my sanity.
You've got like a vocal synth as well.
As the song of the Hyades washes over me.
Like CompuVox
Sanity.
and Polyvox.
I am in the other place. These familiar shores.
So yeah, we've basically taken Dan's recording and chopped it up and moved it around. And I distinctly remember when we were recording it, or when we're going to mix it. Yeah, Dan was like, it's cool. It's just like all the bits in between feel really kind of boring. Like, there's not much happening. So he wanted to like fill all these gaps with all these extra sort of stuff, like repeats or like him asking questions, all that sort of stuff. All these sort of like weird delays and that sort of thing. And yeah, like I remember I do something, you know, no, more. No, keep going, keep adding more. So yeah, he really pushed all of this to sound like it does. I was basically the translator for his sort of like thoughts. So yeah, I was wondering if he could actually speak the Pro Tools language to make it happen.
Once my soul,
But yeah, I just distinctly remember him saying, yeah,
Hyades
just
washes over me.
all this sort of glitch.
Sanity.
And the timeless plugin, very good for like glitchy delays.
He's familiar.
Oh, should add the crazy talk in there as well.
The other place. Breathe.
So there's no real sort of like downtime with the vocals.
These familiar shores.
There's always something happening.
A desert. Deserted. Where strange moons are full and high, and the cloud waves glint with the silvery light of broken glass. Deserted.
The demonic laugh.
No mask. No mask. Show me your other.
Just little altar boy, pitch down, R bass to bring out some fundamental bass frequencies.
Waves. Is it madness? Or clarity? Restless dead or waking dreams, every action has a cost in mind. Have cost me dearly.
They're just automating.
O hollow
Crystallizer.
spectre, O tattered king, O vicious ghost, O dreaded thing. What beauty and horrors await amongst the dim ruins of lost Carcosa.
Yeah, so once you've got like these effects set up, it's just a matter of like picking moments for like your different flavors and glitch effects and that sort of thing. But yeah, really fun process of just taking a spoken word sort of recording and using effects and picking your moments and certain lines of like lyrics to affect a certain way, like letting that dictate what the effect is. And just, yeah, really just having fun with it. Just trying to push it as far as you can, while it still kind of makes context in the theme of the song. Like it all kind of still needs to make sense, but you can really push things and yeah, really have fun with some effects and making it creepy. And yeah, I love this sort of like super dry sort of sounding vocal just directly in your ears.
These familiar shores.
And yeah, it was yeah, a fun process to still honor what Dan had written, but kind of make it a bit more easily digestible, keep interest and focus throughout the whole thing, so that it just doesn't feel like, oh, it's that interlude songs, I'm going to skip that. It at least kind of keeps it moving, keeps things dynamic. There's always something going on. It's not too long. It doesn't feel like it's overstayed its welcome or anything like that. Hits its marks, does what it needs to do, and all still ties in really well with what else is happening with the rest of the album. Like, it doesn't feel too out of place in context with the rest of the album, considering it's just a spoken word, very basic sort of musical backdrop with some atmosphere. Like, it all still works really well in the context of the album. So yeah, had a lot of fun doing this. Love making all this sort of soundscape sort of stuff. Yeah, had a wonderful time doing this. But yeah, I think that covers this song. So yeah, next week we'll have God Killer, Act 9 of the album. So yeah, thanks for sticking around, and we shall do it all again next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.